There we go. I finally got the correct scene. Greetings and welcome everyone to a Matter Shaftastic TV broadcast. It is the 10th of May. It is another Saturday, which means we got more North American duels this week. We're wasting no time. We already have one of the players setting up their picks and bans. While that is happening, let's take a quick look at the brackets, and hopefully I will not be messing up any more of the the scenes. Greetings everyone, welcome in the chat, Arrhythmia, Timmy, and Coffee by Tomo. Here's the brackets that we currently have. That is Kyros Esports Ready, also known as Kuru. We got Dramis, he's back. Breakage, Broomsley, Carson. Kunggear, returning, who made his debut appearance last week. Took everyone by the storm, but he's back. Dramis is already saying that, you know, he's going to be showing this guy how the game's played. So quite excited to see how this is going to be going this week. We got Cudbud and Cointel Pro, and then we have Anarchy and Fab Feline. Great to see that Fab has also joined us this week. This is, I think, going to increase the amount of great games that we're going to have this week. As I said earlier, the guys are already doing some picks and bans. I think we're going to be starting out on Kyros versus Kuru, also known as Esports Ready. Let me see if I can show the picks and bans right now. There they are. There they are. So yeah, the winner of this one is going to be immediately going into the match against Dramis. That's going to be an uphill battle, but hey, somebody has to play Dramis, you know. Got to give them a bit of warm-up. So Kyros starting out with a Veil ban, Kuru proceeding to ban Exile. Runes of Sarnath is going to be the first map to be played, and then proceeds to be Vulcan. We've embraced Molten Falls banned, and Corrupted Keep, that's going to be our decider. Kyros banning Visor. Kuru going to be playing Slash versus Kyros' Clutch. That's going to be a pretty tough matchup, but hey, could be fun. I'm always up for, you know, some of that really fast gameplay on Runes. Vulcan, we see Doomslayer versus Strog and Feker. That's generally a pretty standard matchup as well. And then Corrupted Keep, we're going to have Ranger versus BJ. Also, once again, just a very standard matchup. We have the guys already in the lobby. So the music's probably too loud. Sorry about that. Bear with me as I haven't had run streams for some time, so we are already off to a great start with messing some things up. As you do, you know, so. Kuru TC and Kyros, generally they're on the lower end of the rankings when it comes to this week's matchup, but things are gonna get definitely a lot more exciting as we proceed through the bracket. Gonna be setting up the predictions as well for you guys. Oops. Have to say that clutch pick looks scary, especially with the chainsaw. Let me know how the audio levels are, so that if needed, I can change them. Predictions are up. And we're loading in. And gonna be starting out on Kyros, playing the clutch, the big boy, the robot himself. Up to start with the heavy armor, esports ready, also known as Kuru. He still is not got no armor at all, but he's gonna be doing some good initial damage. Gonna use the plasma trail to get away and float at mid-air. Great start for Kuru. With no armor, whatever, he's able to actually take on a completely overstacked clutch. That being said, Kyros, right off the spawn, he does get another heavy armor, and Kuru is now going to be in a position where he gets the mega health as well. He gets all of the armors on the map as well. This should allow him to start like working on Kyros' stack. An unreturned rail for clutch. The heavy armor is going to be coming up a bit early. Kuru, however, he's caught off guard. A lot of LG damage, actually almost gets the kill. Only 2 health left on Kyros. He does get the heavy armor, but he has to be careful that if Kuru catches Kyros off guard, he might get an immediate refrag. Does not opt to go for any real aggressive play, but realizes that his opponent is caught out of position, and regardless, again, just 3 health left on Kyros. That's already 2-1. Kyros already sitting on heavy armor. I don't think he realized that Kuru had already taken it, and this is now a pretty scary position, because Kuru got both of the major items. Kyros, he's gonna have the shield ready, which is gonna be important for the next fight, but Kyros is just... Oh no! As he's like looking at the heavy armor and waiting for it to come up, Kuru just rolls in. And Kyros is just, he's unable to even react on time. A lot of damage done before the shield was popped. And Kyros has been forced off of the mega health. Kyros again early to this heavy armor. Very early to this heavy armor. Sitting right on top of it. Slight mistime there. Probably doesn't even know still when exactly it is coming up. Kyros at this point, he is forced into a defensive position. Actually able to steal the mega health. Boom. Considerable damage done by the Slash player thanks to the plasma trail. Oh, but Kuru was still railable, and that allowed Kyros to get a 3rd frag of his own. Very unfortunate for our Slash player. Kyros now, he's making his way over to heavy, gets a rail, retreats. He lost out on Mega, but I don't think he's all that concerned about it. He's able to get one of the light armors, and he's on time for the heavy armor as well. Both players have their ability ready. Kyros still dancing around a bit on the heavy armor, and that's gonna give a lot of information to Kuru, who's just, you know, patrolling the upper area. Kyros actually, he's still staying on heavy. Again, sitting right on top of it. We saw last week, actually, not last week, but we saw on Friday, Club playing, you know, kind of around the wall when it comes on the heavy map with clutch, and just completely evading Sirius. So Kyros may be a little inspired by that, but yeah, in the end, not gonna be doing any real significant damage, and none of these major items are really coming clean for him either. Kuru now on the retreat. He was able to steal steal the mega health. Good rail. That's another good rail, and Kuru now completely forced away. This is a perfect opportunity for Kyros to get the mega health, and he should be able to start hunting. He has the shield. Look in the wrong direction, though. He should have heard the jump pad. You can see him looking around for his opponent, but Kuru playing so considerate. Kyros actually going to miss out on the heavy armor as well. The split is still quite significant, so at this point, whoever gets the more damage in is going to be looking for complete control. Good direct rocket, shield popped. Kyros still looking healthy enough that he can contest this major item. Kuru just going to play it safe and retreat. Kyros in a bad position, but he's just gonna go ahead and force his way in, hitting a lot of rails, and Kuru trying to go for an extremely aggressive push, but that's gonna be punished by Kyros. Very risky play there by Kuru, and it ends up getting punished once again. With only the starting machine gun in his hand, it's going to be very hard to take down Clutch, even though he didn't have all that much armor there. But, you know, the weapon advantage that Kyros had at that point, not much you can do about it unless you hit literally everything, you know. You can't rely on it. Kyros trying to run away. Doesn't have any armor at all, and he's, again, super early on heavy. Kuru realizing where exactly his opponent is, and now Kuru himself has like completely lost track of heavy, it seems. Kuru takes one more rail, but the LG is good. That allows him to tie the game up 5-5, 6.5 minutes in. Misses the rail, but that's fine for him. He's going to be able to secure another heavy armor. Kyros trying to make his way over to the T connector. He's going to take a rail for his trouble. Returned by the Slash player. A bit of LG damage as well. Kyros again playing in that heavy armor area just a little bit too early. He might be caught off guard. He's playing kind of more in the back line, which is what I would have liked to see, and realizing that the initial attack by Kuru, not really great, runs straight into Kyros' LG, and thanks to the shield was able to survive that attack. Kyros now with a considerable stack advantage, whereas Kuru has nothing but just 100 health and maybe a rail. Kyros pretty slow on these rotations though, and I think that's exactly what has given Kuru even a fighting chance here. Generally, you know, in this matchup, it's very hard to do much of anything with Slash. Oh, Kyros switching to the rail. Very unfortunate weapon choice there, and if he's not careful, he's gonna get railed himself. Or nice weapon choice there in the last moment. Opts to go for the shotgun finisher. The heavy armor pickup is gonna be heard, but now the question is, what exactly can Kuru do with this information? He's gonna be going for the light armors on the outskirts of the map. Playing the middle connector to try and get as much information as possible. Trying to go for a rail battle. Unfortunately not hitting his shot, but Kyros again just very slow to really react. I don't think he realized just how low the Slash player was. With 1 minute remaining, it's still 6-6, and we might already be seeing an overtime in the very first game. Kyros using the shield and just going in. It takes a lot of damage, but he's overstacked on the armor. A nice little move there by Kuru. But the rails, they're just not connecting, and caught on the corner. He really needed to hit every shot that he could at that point to make it make it work. And this looks like it's gonna be map number 1, going over to Kyros, playing clutch. Kyros now, just to be safe, playing in the corner of the map. The GGs have been called. Kyros gets the first victory. Pretty close. Pretty close. Almost went into overtime, but really that last push by Kyros with the shield, that's kind of what sealed the deal. I would have loved to see, you know, Kuru try and use the speed advantage of Slash and just, as soon as the shield was popped, disengage and try and look for another opportunity. If needed, he could have gone for overtime. His LG damage was incredible there, but really just... It becomes kind of a 50-50 fight. Can't always rely on winning those. Both players are ready, and we're going into a Vulcan. Doomslayer versus Strog. Generally, I would say that Strog has the Doomslayer has the advantage thanks to the verticality of Vulcan. However, we'll see how it goes. Strog is, of course, a very strong champion, and we're going to be starting out on Strog. That's Kuru, also known as Esports Ready. I don't know why does he use 2 different names, but he does. He already has a pretty good choice of weaponry at his disposal. It's a pretty good opening rail there. Goes immediately for the Beaker. Not denied by Kyros, and actually a lot of damage coming out from Kuru. Goes in for the rocket jump, and beautiful execution there. Actually very nicely done. And hits a rail right on Kyros' spawn. That's very risky there from Kuru to not even go for the weapon switch, but it pays off in the end. Kyros ends up blowing himself up, but Kuru also ends up blowing himself up. Owl Tosser, thanks for tuning in. Kyros playing pretty close around the corner, but unknowingly Kuru just gonna run straight into his opponent's jaws. That's some shotgun mastery right there. Kyros now, he's pretty early for this mega health, and this is not a fight that he should win. Very close still, like Kyros making very good use of that shotgun and doing just massive amounts of damage, but again, these fights, they're kind of 50-50. Would like to see Kyros exercise some caution. But hey, it's been working out for him to some degree. Kyros pushing in, realizes that he has the stack advantage, but the LG just is not there. And he's going to be going down the 4th time already. Kyros, once again, just using that shotgun. What? How does he do that? Oh, he eats a direct rocket though, and he's... Kuru... What is his rail percent? 87%! 7 out of 8. Make that 8 out of 9. 9 out of 10. Kuru's mad. Kuru's just... He's not letting his foot off the gas pedal. This is a complete turnaround.
They tremble.
That's 11 out of 12 rails. And now both major items in Kuru's favor. Kyros, he's trying to make his way over the rail. He's gonna need that weapon for sure. Kyros raining rockets down, but again, just a direct rocket hit by Kuru. Some spam coming out. I like this move though. It's working, but still. That must have been like 1 pixel that was visible there for Kyros. I like the move of going in for the peeker, but still, Kuru, he was within splash damage range and was just getting hit. Nice defense there by Kyros, and goes for a pretty nice combo there with rockets into a rail finisher. Now this is going to be an opportunity for him to start making his comeback. He is down by 5 frags, but it's only 4 minutes in. He does get the mega health, and he has plenty of time to set up for heavy. The big question now is, does he even know when heavy is? Kuru, he's still hitting rails. 14 out of 19. And he's still hitting rails. He's not letting Kyros get anything. Another peeker coming out. Hits a couple shots with the Hyper Blaster. Those are some serious rails indeed. Oh, but unfortunately, Kuru unable to hit the rail as he was midair, and on top of that, he was caught. He was caught by the LG. Thanks to Strog's superior speed during the slide, he is able to get away, and he is going to be in position for Mega. He does hear where exactly Kyros is, and now he's just dancing around, not letting Kyros even get out of that portion of the map. Rails exchanging. That's 1 for both players now. Kuru, he's still railable. Actually, both players still railable. Kuru, wise decision to retreat there, not going for that 50-50, just goes for the safe option. Oh, but Kuru, he's getting so close to death, but the rails keep saving him. Our Strog player is just an absolute madman, I'm telling you.
Stopwatch.
Full control now in Kyros' hands. But for 3 minutes now, I think there hasn't been a single frag. Kuru, he's been able to steal the mega health. Kyros just very late to actually setting up. He should have known, like, the last mega health was in his own hands. He should have known and already set up for it. Another peeker comes out, does just a little bit of damage, but it's enough to confuse Kyros, and subsequently Kuru once again going in for some of that beautiful, beautiful rail. Only 64% now, but he's been firing those like the whole match non-stop. Oh, unfortunate rocket knockback sends Kuru flying right into his opponent. Heavy's up, that's gonna go over to our Doomslayer player, but as he jumps up, he ends up taking so much damage. Nice read there by Kuru. Seems like he even knows the rotation of the light armors. That's one of the more important things, actually. Not just, you know, knowing when exactly major items are coming up, but, you know, what is the rotation of the smaller items, like the, you know, the light armors and the health bubbles, relative to the major items, because that's what allows you to consistently get a larger and larger stack. A fight happening in the middle of the map. Both players largely equal on damage output, but again, Kuru is being just saved by his superior rail. And after getting more damage in, Kyros out of position, doesn't really have anywhere to retreat. Kuru realizing the potential for a frag there, and just going in for close range rockets. Unfortunately gonna miss out on the heavy. But still, now the initiative is entirely up to Kyros with 2 minutes remaining and 8 frag difference. He has some serious lifting to do. Once again, just a bit of a damage exchanged. Kuru gonna even a rocket jump up to the middle part of the map. Unfortunately misses the rail. I don't think Kyros even had the time really to go for that mega. I think that may have been a critical mistake. If he... Well, with 8 frag difference, there's not much to do. What? Kuru still gets a frag! Oh my goodness, that must feel awful for Kyros. And a direct rocket and another rail, and make that a second rail. Oh my. Kuru's right now just playing out of his mind. Maybe Kyros already realizing at that point that, you know, there wasn't much that he could do. How is Kuru hitting all of this? This is quite something, you know. Only 55% rail. It's dropped. Oh well. With 15 seconds remaining, our strong player is now gonna take a very defensive position in the back part of the map. We're gonna send the long-range peeker out to chase the Doom guy. And that's gonna be map number 2. 3 to 13. 3 to 14, I'm sorry. Very well played by Kuru. Just absolutely incredible. Kuru rockets go crazy. Kuru's rail was going crazy. At one point he was like, what, 13 out of 14 rails? That's bonkers, you know? Interesting to see that Kuru, if in the previous match we saw that it was 100% predictions for Kyros, now it was 100% predictions for Kuru. Someone knows these players better than I do. Map number 3, the decider, that's gonna be Corrupted Keep, and I'm already excited to see, you know, that on the very first match of the day, we are already seeing the full potential of a best of 3. Corrupted Keep. That's where we are headed. Just crazy amounts of damage coming out from Kuru. That being said, I really think the positioning from Kyros a little bit lacking, you know. It's understandable, you know, you get a major item, you feel confident that you can go for those kind of kills, but you can't rely on it, you know. If anything goes wrong, you miss like a couple ticks of LG, the entire fight can go like completely different, you know. And he's just standing sometimes out in the open. That being said, we are loading into map number 3. Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes. Make your bets. We're starting out on Kyros in the blue corner, playing BJ Blazkowicz versus Kuru, also known as Esports Ready, Lane Ranger. And both players using their abilities, and Kyros starting off with a very quick frag. Floated midair. Kuru takes a massive amount of damage, but he was able to collect some of the items for this engagement, and Kyros was still very, very damaged from the first blood. It was a nice attempt by Kyros, but not with that kind of a stack. Kyros once again just making good use of the shotgun, not wasting any time. Like, a lot of aggression coming out. Kyros again just immediately off the spawn, going for a very aggressive push. He actually sends Kuru into the lava pit, and that was like, what, 20-30 damage, if not more. And I think that definitely helped out Kyros in securing that heavy armor. Had to even use the orb just to try and even contest that. But, well, when you've already been hit so much, maybe the best choice was to actually orb away up on the upper levels to try and stay alive. Nice move there by Kyros. Very clean frag. He's gonna be late for the mega health, but looks like he's not even concerned about it. He's just going for the heavy armor. Both items coming up at pretty much the same time, so he had kind of a decision to make there. He maybe could have set up on mega, try and do some damage to kind of negate the advantage that Kuru could have gotten there. Lots of LG damage coming out from both players. Kuru realizing the potential, but left on only 1 health. Was this fight really worth it? With so few resources left on the map, it's arguable that maybe after doing so much damage, it would have been better actually just to retreat. Kyros sent on the low ground. Kuru still in a pretty good position, reading Kyros' movement as well. Oh, but it runs out of LG, right? That was actually a pretty crazy chase there, and that's kind of what you can afford to do on Corrupted Keep. Both players just playing unbelievably aggressive, and it's working so far. 5-4. Kuru not looking very healthy. Just waiting for that mega health. But at this point, if Kyros just rolls in before the mega comes up, that could have been rather dangerous. Thankfully for him, both players just very focused on those major items at the moment. Kuru just dropping down and once again hitting rocket after rocket, pre-firing, trying to get some damage off the spawn. Oh, beautiful rockets, 155 damage in total, and uses the orb to get a very good positioning for his 6th frag, and that's gonna be him in the lead. Only by 1, however. Mega is up, and oh no, Kyros tries to go for the mega health, but gets pushed away by the LG knockback, and then Kuru going in for a very swish rocket jump. And this is now very quickly just going completely out of control for Kyros. Very swift movement from Kuru. Oh, lots of damage. You can't really do that when you're on the stairs, but in the end, not sure if he ran out of ammo or what happened.
No shame in pissing yourself, kid.
Again, just kind of 50-50 fights from both players. I don't think Kuru realized that Kyros was actually able to pick up one of the one of the light armors, and that allowed him, you know, to take that kind of a fight on even ground.
5-minute warning.
Seven to 9 now. 5-minute warning has been sounded. Very aggressive push again from Kuru. LG into rockets into an orb finisher. These fights for Kuru generally they're pretty damn clean. Oh, and a beautiful, beautiful direct. Wow, really surprised, honestly, that with the nail gun alone, he was able to actually get the frag there. Both players just... Oh, we got a gauntlet as well! I can't believe what I'm seeing, you know? Both players, they do not know any restraint. Like, what is defensive play? They didn't teach that in school. Kuru once again just trying to force his way into the mega room. Gonna pay the price.
Time to die.
Dual wield LGs come out. Oh, but again, just like if only Kyros like would not commit fully to like dropping down on his opponent, you know, just stay on that upper platform.
I love the smell of gunpowder.
He ends up being floated, and that just makes the fight so much easier for the Ranger player. Kuru trying to rocket jump away, but with only so little health, and I think the rocket jump wasn't even like perfect. That ends up with him going down 11 to 15. With how many frags there has been going on, you know, here, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyros is actually able to pull this back. That's already 12 to 15 with 2.5 minutes remaining. Kyros, he still has dual wield available. That wasn't used. He's got rockets, he's got LG, he's got everything. Oh,
You get out alive.
like, I can't believe this. I actually just can't believe that this is happening. It's just an absolute bloodbath. These boys are fragging out indeed. They just... shotgun into the face. And Kyros taken down by his own rocket. Not sure if that was a deliberate forcing of the spawn there, but it definitely ended up working out for Kuru, and I think this is starting to become very close to a GG. If only Kuru can have some restraint and actually go into the defensive mode, which it looks like he's finally doing. He's hitting shots left and right, you know, but sometimes the positioning is failing him. Gets some LG ammo, and that's gonna allow him to push Kyros away. Again, just hitting a direct rocket. Kyros realizing that he does not have the time. He's forced to just try and make the best of what he can. Gets a kill with the dual wield. Here's his opponent going through the curved corridor there, but I have to wonder if maybe the better decision would have been just to meet his opponent there instead of going for that heavy, just because of how little time he has left. 30 seconds, 4 frags. I don't think this is going to be happening for Kyros, especially if Kuru keeps hitting rockets like this. How does the man do it? (14 to 18). Make that 14 to 19, even in the very last seconds of the map. These boys, they just keep going at it. Woo! That was action-packed. That was absolutely action-packed. Kuru! I'm gonna be proceeding to the round 2 in the upper bracket. 45% LG on Kuru, although given how aggressive these players are, this is not that surprising, you know? But 3.5 thousand damage with the LG, that's crazy. That was just the first series of the tournament. Let's take a look at the, what's it called, the brackets, and see where exactly we're at. Kuru, also known as Esports Ready, he's going to be advancing to play against Dramis. We have seen that Kuru, he can hit shots. He can hit just as much rail as Dramis himself, but oh boy. Oh boy. He's going to need more than that to take down the Pro League Messiah himself. We do have Dramis in the lobby. And I assume they're going to be proceeding with the picks and bans shortly. So yeah, that was just the first series. We're in for some hell of a matches. Chain stopped playing. Not sure, honestly. Chain, I know for sure that like Chain, he appeared like 2-3 weeks ago. He was, people saw him playing some ranked duels. Would have loved to see him participate in this tournament, but I don't know. If somebody has contact with him, maybe you can find out what he's up to. Let me see if... Oh, we do have the pick and ban a link. Gonna be showing that momentarily. There we go. Dramis, right off the bat, banning Vestibule of Exile. Kuru opting to ban Veil. We got a pretty fast-paced match. Sorry, pretty fast-paced map pool this week. The Americans generally seem to prefer, you know, these kind of close-quarter maps in general. You know, on like the European and on the Russian side, we generally see more favor put in onto Molten Falls and Blood Covenant and of course Blood Run. Did I close the prediction? Does anyone know? I did not. Very sorry to whoever put 100% of their points on Kyros. You're probably regretting that decision right now. The first map to be played, that's gonna be Molten Falls, picked by Dramis. Kuru opting to go for a Vulcan. Worked for him once, so why the hell not? And then the decider, if we get that far, that's gonna be Deep Embrace. Molten Falls, it's gonna be Slash versus Sorlag. And well, we saw Kuru playing Slash in the previous series, but it did not work out against Kyros Clutch, and I do wonder, you know, whether it's partly due to the nature of how you kind of have to play these light versus heavy champ matchups. there was a good point brought up by Rafa in that, especially on Molten Falls, you know, Splash versus Sorlag, you kind of don't want to actually kill the Sorlag. You want to get a couple kills maybe, and then go for what's it called? Like, you know, just leave your opponent alive, deprave. Just don't leave resources on the map, you know, don't let them get anything, and then just control the map, because as soon as a heavy champion dies, you know, like, you come back with 200 total stack, and your light champion can barely even get that, even with major items, you know. So let's see how that's gonna work out. Hey, I'm all up for being surprised, but this is looking like it's gonna be pretty heavily into Dramis' favor. Hello /QC. Welcome to the stream. The players are ready and they are loading into the map. I'll switch to the game in a moment. Let me just set up some things.
Come on, let's go! I'm getting Nancy over here.
Here we go.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in.
Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes. You may make your bets. We're gonna be starting out on our Slash player in the red corner. That's Kuru TC, also known as Esports Ready. Collects the rocket launcher, collects the Tribolt, and also getting himself a long-range weapon in the form of the heavy machine gun. There's already a pretty good split between the major items. Both players hitting their rails, but oh, that's not a great start for Kuru, who's now caught in a horrible position. Dramis making a very aggressive push, hits the rocket for 69. Nice, but that's just not enough, you know. Dramis hitting his rails, gets the first blood. Very nice and quick. And thanks to the delay, actually, of the mega health that was done by Kuru, he's gonna be on time for the heavy armor as well, where a second frag happens, and Kuru might even get a frag the third time, actually opting to retreat to the mega health, but again, he's just boxing himself up in that part of the map. Nice rocket jump into a direct rocket. Beautiful play there. Kirkincho, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you around. It is nice to watch Quake again. It is also nice to just, you know, see the NA duel scene be slightly revitalized thanks to this new weekly tournament series that we have going on. A lot of LG damage being inflicted by Dramis, but... Sorry, by Kuru. Pretty much all of the mega health that was picked up by Dramis has been just absolutely negated. Kuru now doing a pretty good job of playing on the defense, but he has to be careful. His positioning has to be immaculate at this point. Great rockets. The rail is not connecting. Dramis, he's not letting off of the pressure. But it's going to be very hard to catch a Slash player. And actually, Dramis ends up giving up the mega health in his pursuit. And this might be an opening for Kuru to actually start getting something done. That's one of the things, you know, it's not really so much about, you know, the mega health providing the light champion player stack to fight with. It's more about the fact that, you know, you're denying it from your opponent. Unfortunately, again, Kuru just kind of being out of position. You can't afford to stay on those items waiting for them to come up. You have to actually take a position just in case. If you do not know the timing, take a position that you can defend from. Retreat if needed. And if your opponent doesn't come, that's when you can actually go for that that pickup. So unfortunately, a slight miscalculation there from our Slash player costs him another frag, and it's starting to spiral out of control again. Dramis is the bestest, says Brutal Sky. Dramis, yeah, he's not bad. You know, he's played the game a few times. Oops, I'm sorry. I pressed something. I didn't know even there was a button there.
What a hunt!
Again, very good LG coming out from Kuru. He comes up the jump pad, misses the rail, and ends up just absolutely destroyed by Dramis' LG. Wasn't a bad move. Really wasn't a bad move, but really the decision to go for rail there kind of cost him. There's a lot of things that Kuru is right now doing correctly, but just a couple of nuances is, like, it's costing him frag after frag. Finally, Kuru's gonna be able to get his first frag, sliding around the map at a very brisk pace. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Dramis having a bit of a laugh. Kuru being a good sport. Kuru is gonna be able to get this heavy armor, but again, just goes up the jump pad, ends up taking a lot of damage. Maybe trying to escape through the rail area would have been a better option, but hey. Very aggressive from Kuru to actually go close range for this fight. Actually delaying the heavy. Checking for that mega health, but it's gonna be pretty late. Dramis already setting up on the upper part of the middle. But he's gonna force his opponent completely away from heavy, and Kuru's gonna be left with absolutely nothing. I don't think even the light armors are coming up at this point. Well, there is one. But Dramis, he's already on Mega. That has been thoroughly denied. I have been corrected. The light armors, they were still up. Oh, but the rails, once again, Kuru. This is just... doesn't care about Dramis' rail. He got a rail of his own, but gonna end up going down, and that was a very risky move. He should have heard that Dramis ended up picking the health bubbles.
Oh, how?
Then again, when it's 14-2, and with 3 or 4 minutes remaining, I guess there isn't much that... there isn't much that you can really count on. Sometimes reason has to go through, go out the window, and you just gotta hope for the best. Go for those crazy frags, you know, desperation moves. A lot of damage again coming out from Kuru, but it's coming just like a nanosecond too late. It's really surprising how close, just how absolutely close is Kuru able to get to a frag against Dramis. He's hitting so much. But it comes a little bit too late with 2 minutes remaining and a 12 frag difference. Yeah, this is not looking great. At least not for Kuru. For Dramis, it's looking just absolutely peachy. Hey Shaman, nice to see you in the stream as well. Mutual frag.
I'm talking about.
But this is really, it's kind of... It's a horrible situation to be playing Slash, you know, when you're down by so much already. There just is not much that you can really do. Because you want to keep going for frags, you know, when you're down 6-0, in like the first 3 minutes, it's extremely hard to come back from such a situation. Even for, like for very experienced players. Because every single time you get a kill on Sorlag, you're kinda resetting the situation, you know? With 15 seconds remaining and the score being 19-7 in Dramis' favor, that's going to be Molten Falls going, I'll make that 20-7. That's going to be map number 1 going to Dramis. Let me close the predictions. Nobody even voted. Crazy world we live in. Nobody believed in Dramis. It's crazy. That's actually crazy. There is of course a big question this week whether Carson is going to be able to finally take down Dramis, or maybe it's going to be Kunggear. Who knows? Or Fab Feline. Map number 2, that's going to be a Vulcan Ranger versus a Strog. That is Strog on Dramis. I think that actually put a bit of a wrench in Kuru's plan. What do you mean you can't vote? Because you already wasted all of your points? Is that why? Yeah, I have a feeling that Dramis picking Strog and Peaker kind of threw a bit of a wrench into Kuru's plan, because we saw Kuru play Strog and Peaker himself. And I do know for sure that he really likes those, you know, those quick slidey champions in general. Carson can beat Dramis, says Slash, just doesn't know it yet. Very possible, honestly. Dramis himself has said that, you know, Carson makes him sweat quite a lot in many cases. No nickname, hello there. Welcome to stream.
Prepare to fight.
Predictions are up.
Begins in 3, 2.
This is map number 2, Dramis versus Kuru. Dramis playing Strog and Peaker, Kuru on Ranger. We're gonna be starting out on Kuru, also known as Esports Ready. Players wasting no time, already engaging in rail fights.
Impressive.
Ooh, so far they're 2 for 2. But that's going to be favoring Dramis heavily, who's finding armor all over the place to restack immediately after these fights. Both major items are up. Dramis actually taking a pretty good position there to try and do damage before picking up the mega health. There's not going to be any kind of a difference between the item timers. Both coming up pretty much simultaneously. Dramis dancing around, evading shots. But neither player really has established control so far. Beaker comes out. Kuru, you can see the, you know, the slight panic that happens when you hear the Beaker coming around the corner, but you're not sure where exactly. Kuru going for a rocket jump up to the middle part of the map, but Dramis had a very similar plan, and that's going to be the first blood. Very aggressive push by Dramis, but it almost looked like he ran out of mousepad space there, which I find very unlikely. For Dramis, with the sensitivity that he uses, he pretty much has an infinite mousepad. But yeah, the aggressive push didn't pay off, but still, it ended up with Kuru unable to secure the heavy armor. In fact, Kuru is left with neither of the major items, and Dramis now, thanks to Strog's superior mobility... Oh! What a rocket. Thanks to, yes, Strog's superior mobility, Dramis is just making his way around the map at the speed of light. Arriving to the heavy armor a little bit too early, he's going to be standing his ground and actually giving a first frag to Kuru, make that a second. Very aggressive push coming out from our Strog player. It's a lot of damage once again being done, but Kuru, don't stick around. Greedy, a little greedy, trying to stay around, trying to get a little bit more damage before retreating, and that's again just gonna cost him his life. Kuru's still hitting rockets left and right. He's not giving up, but Dramis, you know, is no slouch either. He's hit a shot or two in his life. You know, just one or two. Oh, and the long-range peeker. With nothing but a rocket launcher in his hand, he's not going to be able to take care of that. And that's going to be the 6th frag for Dramis, 3rd frag for Kuru.
Eat that, pitiful creature.
Esports ready is Kuru. He's been around for some time. Oh. Coming up the jump pad. Already lined up. Hitting his shots. Oh, but the rockets are immaculate from both players. That was a very swish movement there by Dramis to actually keep track of his opponent while still hitting him with the LG and also just make that jump. Beautiful rocket opening there, and still, Kuru, he's able to bully his way onto the Mega Health. 10-5, this is a lot closer than anyone would have really suspected, you know? Dramis is, of course, oh! The headshot! Dramis is, of course, playing unbelievably aggressively, to kind of replying to Kuru with his own playstyle. Oh, trying to go for that light armor ends up being a death sentence. The 11-7. This is way closer than I would have ever expected it to be. This is way closer than anyone probably ever expected it to be. Dramis running straight into Kuru's LG, doing massive amounts of damage, but again, just running out of ammo mid-fight. And it's gonna be the Rockets getting a mutual frag for... Drum is still trying to apply pressure as much as he can. Arguably, he could go, like, in a much more defensive mode. But, hey, if he has the opportunity, you know, to keep applying pressure and it keeps working, you know, why the hell not? At the end of the day, you only need a one frag advantage to actually get the win. Kuru, however, he's hitting stuff. He's hitting a lot of stuff. Let's take a look at the stats, and he was on 44% LG. Very unfortunate engagement for Kuru, caught out of position, and it's gonna be the peeker doing a significant damage, and shotgun finisher. But yeah, Dramis just completely unafraid of his opponent, just keeps going for these fights. What a messy engagement. Kuru's gonna emerge victorious in that one, but in the end still, like, these winning fights, losing out on a major item. Rockets just fly in both directions. Dramis wasting no time to style on his opponent. Unfortunate time to go into peeker there.
Battle will be ours.
But even then, Dramis is still hitting so much. He's also going to be hitting a lot of machine gun, but, you know, that kind of doesn't matter when, you know, both players are just spawned. And one of them actually has the rocket launcher. Kuru's going to finish the match with a suicide, 19-11. The GGs have been called. That's going to be Dramis advancing to the next round. We're going to take a look at the brackets in a moment. The brackets, the brackets, the brackets. Let me find the brackets. Have they been updated? Who is Dramis gonna be facing off against? There we go. Brackets. So Dramis is going to be playing against Breakage. Breakage emerged victorious against Broomsley, hailing from Canada. Actually, isn't Breakage also Canadian? I suspect he might be Canadian. Cudpud has already been sent to the lower bracket. No, I'm sorry, Cointel Pro has been sent to the lower bracket, and Anarchy also actually already eliminated. That's rather surprising. Anarchy's not... He's been a pretty strong player. He was eliminated by Broomsley. That's quite surprising to see him eliminated so quickly from the tournament. Cudpud versus Kyros, that's still yet to happen. Broomsley actually beating Anarchy, and Broomsley is in the chat right now saying that Anarchy is no slouch, it was a tough game. I can imagine, I would have actually loved to see that. But, oh well, here we were watching Dramis style on his opponent. Broom gonna sweep us, ha 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 ha. What a funny joke slash. Sweep up, I'm sorry. Yeah. Broom gonna sweep up. Ha 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 ha. What a joke. What a joker you are, man. Absolute comedic genius. Let's see. I pressed something. I don't know what's wrong. I'm being very fat-fingered today. I'm just pressing buttons left and right and things are happening without my knowledge, you know? Let's see if we have a pick and ban thing. Breakage versus Dramis. We do have a pick and ban thing. So, I'm going to show that on the screen momentarily. Bam. Kuru asking if he has to play against Broomsley now. And if I'm not mistaken... Actually, I don't know. Oh, show, can you update the brackets? Leaks! Hola! Hola, señor. Anyways, the picks and bans, they're already done. I already missed them. I was looking at the chat and trying to understand what's happening in the bracket. Yeah, they're already done. That's how quickly they went. Oopsie. So this is what? This is quarterfinals already? Yeah, this is upper bracket quarterfinals. Right? No, semi. Yes, this is the semi-final. Da, 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 da. Set all this up. You can see the picks and bans on the screen. I'm going to set up the predictions in a moment. Map number 1 to be played, that is going to be Corrupted Keep. We're off to a very aggressive start to this series. Corrupted Keep, Dramis versus Breakage. Dramis apparently needs 1 minute before they hop into the match. So we're gonna give him his 1 minute. Oh boy. The real question is really, you know, who's gonna be able to take down Dramis one day in these tournaments. Who's it gonna be? Who is it gonna be? Surely it'll happen one day. It has to happen. There's 3 answers. Carson /QC saying in chat. There's 3 answers. Carson. I just sign up once and that's it. Good point, Shaman. I just sign up once, immediate victory. I don't think I can beat Dramis. I can't even play against Dramis because I'm not getting 80 ping to any of the NA servers, unfortunately. But yeah, generally, like, if anyone wants to actually sign up, the only requirement really is that, you know, you must have 80 ping to any of the NA servers. And yeah, you can go ahead and play against... Go ahead and play against NA's best. We are loaded into the match. We're still in warm-up though, so hold your horses. Also have a cat in my lap now. Hopefully that's not going to be distracting me too much. Fluffy little creature.
Prepare to fight.
Didn't go well when you played? I mean...
2, 1, fight.
When I played, when I played against Shaman, it went absolutely horribly. The guy just annihilated me. We're gonna be starting out on Dramis, who's playing Ranger. Already looking pretty stacked. Breakage losing quite a bit of his armor against Dramis's nail gun. Breakage playing a lot of respect. Not going very aggressive unless he really has to. Both major items are up. Dramis setting up for the heavy armor. Breakage retreating back to Mega. Dramis trying to go in aggressive. Breakage pushing away his opponent with the rocket launcher. A lot of machine gun damage being inflicted by Breakage. Dramis forced to play quite a lot more careful than he'd like to. Actually, very nicely done there by Breakage, realizing where exactly Dramis was hiding, dropping onto him, and finalizing the frag. Oh, what an aggressive push there by Dramis. The LG is not going to be sufficient to push Dramis away, and it's gonna be the shotgun. Oh, beautiful rocket as well. Drops down into a shotgun, gets the second frag, and Dramis now with a 1 frag advantage. It was looking pretty shaky there at the very start, but the situation has gone into Dramis' favor again. Dramis is a gambler always. Yeah, that's how a lot of people, I think, would try and describe Dramis' playstyle. I think it was it Rafa who said that, you know, like no person should be doing these kind of plays that Dramis does, but he just somehow makes them work. Ooh, a lot of LG damage coming out from Breakage. He's continuing the push, but the shotgun, the close range shotgun, is bailing him out there, and Breakage gets the heavy armor spawn, and he's just unable to really get anything on the map. He's even too early, and Dramis, he has sufficient of a stack to just bully Breakage away. He probably knew that both of the major items were coming up at exactly the same time, and Breakage making a mistake there by staying on heavy. This matchup really, it's very tough actually for the Anarchy player, because, you know, partially one of the advantages that you have is the mobility, but when you can be caught up thanks to the Dire Orb, and on top of that you don't really have the stack to survive a shotgun orb combo.
If it bleeds, I can kill it.
Not really a shotgun orb combo there, but still just massive amount of damage being inflicted by Dramis. Good use of the tri-bolt there, but it's not enough. Breakage going down to 1 nail in the end. 7-2 so far. Dramis stacking slowly back up, actually going for the light armor first before picking up at the heavy. Good choice there. That's gonna ensure that Breakage is gonna... The next fight that he's gonna be taking on against Breakage is gonna be especially tough. Breakage left with completely no armor. He does have Inject available, but Dramis has the orb as well. A lot of HMG damage being inflicted. Breakage playing very carefully. You can see these kind of moves that, like, Dramis, he's expecting his opponent really to push him, and he already switches to the shotgun in the lieu of the fact that, you know, he doesn't even have a rocket launcher.
Are you even trying?
The orb confuses Breakage, makes him turn around, fire a rocket in completely the opposite direction, and that buys just enough time for Dramis to get an 8th frag. Dramis wasting no time to go aggressive on his opponent, and the stack now is going to be just immense. Probably suspects where exactly the Breakage spawned, but he goes off the map. 300 total health with the armor and health combined. All of that down the drain as he goes flying. Direct rocket with some LG to help him out there, and the rocket around the corner forces the spawn as well. The Dramis not looking very healthy, 9-4. There's definitely an opportunity for Breakage to make something happen here. Dramis no armor. Oh, but actually stops the chase and ends up giving Dramis the access to the LG and some armor. Inject is available. That's gonna be popped now. Very scary stack on Breakage, who's just going full force. Both players hitting good rockets, but it is exactly the huge stack that allowed Breakage to pull through. $9-5 now. still in favor of Dramis. 6 minutes and a half into the match. Heavy armor gonna be spawning. That's gonna go over to Breakage, who's now playing pretty slow, trying to just hear his opponent out in case there's some shenanigans at play. But Dramis doing pretty much the same. He's already setting up around corners. My cat is trying to kill me. Please send help. Oh my goodness. A lot of damage being inflicted by Breakage. Dramis pushed off of the heavy armor. Dramis so close to death. There we go. Buckshot finisher. And the perfect timing. But, wait, was it Dramis who actually got that in the end? No way. There's no way that Dramis stole that. That's gotta be infuriating, but the rockets! The rockets and the forced spawn? Maybe that's not that much of a deal breaker for Breakage. He still ends up getting the heavy as well. Good rockets, but it's not enough. The last one does not connect, and it's gonna be the 11th frag for Dramis, who's now gonna be able to get the mega health off of this frag as well. He has the weapon advantage, finds a light armor, and this means that he should be able to contest the heavy armor as well. Gonna even steal the other light armor. Breakage left with 0 resources on the map with 2 minutes remaining. This looks awful. Direct rocket into an orb. My cat still trying to destroy everything in my apartment. I think my cat's been inspired by Dramis. Oh. It looked so good at one point there for Breakage. It really felt like he could have started making a comeback, but...
Oh, no, you shoot with it.
Just so much damage being inflicted by Dramis. Let's take a quick look at the stats. Both players actually not that far apart when it comes to damage inflicted.
1 minute warning. Denied.
Even the major items are relatively equal there. No nickname asking, am I okay? I'm still alive somehow. I have survived the cat attack. I don't know why, like my cat actually just tried to kill me. But it's fine. It's just normal cat things, as somebody else pointed out. What a great opener of the semi-finals of the upper bracket. That was map number 1. It goes over to Dramis. Breakage putting on a pretty good show. Am I reading this right? Did somebody just get 1,000 points from voting 1 point on Dramis? That's unbelievable. Oh boy. Map number 2, we're gonna be seeing Dramis playing Slash and Clutch on, Breakage on Clutch. Map number 2, that's gonna be Molten Falls. Psycho's Dino Pineapple, congratulations on your 1,000 points for just... That's actually crazy. He voted 1 point for Dramis and ended up getting 1,000 because there was somebody who put 1,000 points on Breakage. Honestly, Breakage was looking pretty solid there. 52k points, let's burn some, says no nickname. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna start the predictions in a moment.
Round begins in 3.
Too bad you're poor in real life. Hey, look, that's not worries. No. You might be poor in real life, but at least you got some cheftastic TV points. Oh no! I was gonna say, let's start out on the big honking robot, but he just goes flying off the map. What an awful way to start a match. Breakage undeterred. Trying to get some damage in on the Slash player, but even that's not gonna be working out. Dramis still taking 2 rails, but still healthy enough to continue fighting. That's gonna be like, you generally do not expect the fights to go so quickly on this map. Brutal LG by Dramis. This is like, are we sure about watching Molten Falls? Like, is this not more more of Corrupted Keep? Breakage, he's gonna be pretty late to heavy, but he's gonna find an LG. Oh, Dramis fails to actually go to like grab the edge. The ledge, I mean, of that jump pad, and he's gonna be taking a massive amount of damage. The entire heavy armor has just been denied. Breakage now looking pretty healthy. He should be in a good position. Fortunately takes a rail, and that's gonna equalize the situation. Dramis already sliding away, trying to set up for heavy. Breakage is there, but he's a little bit late, thanks to the superior mobility of Slash when it comes to at least just a pure horizontal speed. Dramis is able to set up in a better position. Oh my, Breakage almost going down there, but his rail does not fail. Rhymes, yo. Has to be careful though. I would not challenge this situation. Dramis could have dropped down there and just gone for the kill anyway. 2 minutes in, we're 4-1. Oh my goodness, that's just so unfortunate for Breakage to keep just running into Dramis, and the rails are not connecting. Dramis is absolutely destroying Breakage spawn to spawn. Breakage almost flying off the map. It looked like even Breakage kind of gave up mid-air. 8-1 already. This is becoming an absolute disaster. You do not expect a clutch to be just so absolutely outmatched. Make that 9-1.
Stopwatch.
Why don't you go let your mama wipe your
Breakage
nose
gonna
and
call
let
the early
kids play?
GGs, realizing that, yeah, Molten Falls just does not go his way at all. Everything that could have gone wrong pretty much did. Very well played by Dramis. He's going to be advancing over to the upper bracket finals. We're going to take a look at the brackets momentarily. We barely even got to finalize the predictions, which were up for 2 minutes. Psycho Zeno Pineapple wasted his 1 channel point. Oh boy. Rest in peace indeed. Right, let me see. What is up with the brackets, where we're headed next. Transition. Bam. So Dramis won versus Breakage in the semifinals. Carson versus Kunggear, that's happening right now. That's pretty much a rematch of what we saw previously. Kunggear actually sent Fab Feline to the lower bracket. Broomsley still waiting for his game. Esports ready. That's Kuru gonna be playing against Naqcl Pro. I assume that's happening right now. Cutbud versus Kyros. Kyros emerges victorious there, and he's gonna be facing off against Fab Feline. Nope. Naqcl Pro is AFK. God dang it. Oh well, what can you do? Let me refresh this. Wait, what's happening? So the Dramis went to the... What is going on? This website sometimes, I swear. Let me check. Church of Quake probably should be streaming Carson versus Kunggear. Yes, they are. They're currently, it's right now 0-1 in favor of Carson. I'll try and show it on the stream so that you guys can see what's going on. It's right now looking just very decisively in Carson's favor. And they're in the last minute of the match. How do I do this? Is this how I do this? This is how I do this. Kunggear last week brewed up quite the storm, you know, kind of showing up out of nowhere. But we did find out that, like, yeah, he's a returning player. He used to play in 2021. And yeah, he signed up to the tournament. I do think that Carson kind of didn't play as well as he could have last week. But Kunggear, good sport. Showing up. Yeah, giving the old guys a bit of a challenge. Thanks, Kuru. I think I'll just stick with the upper bracket for now. Given that, yeah, Kunggear versus Carson just finished, and it's going to be Dramis versus Carson. Best of luck in your game, though. Capture some footage, make a frag movie out of it. Be sure to report on all the crazy mid-air rockets. Like your rockets against Kyros. God damn. Against Dramis as well. God damn, man. You were destroying that, man. Anyways, we're gonna get Carson in our lobby momentarily. And then we're going to be watching Dramis versus Carson in the upper bracket finals. Carson. If Carson was destroying Kunggear so heavily in map number 2, I do wonder if he's in the mood. Is he in the mood to finally take down Dramis? We do have Carson in the lobby. And soon enough, we'll have a link to the picks and bans. The ultimate nemesis of Carson. I think so far this tournament has gone pretty damn smooth, you know. We already saw a bit of an upset with Anarchy being eliminated very quickly. Broomsley putting in some work. Kunggear may have taken down Fat Feline, but he's not able to repeat the miracles that he was pulling off against Carson in last week's tournament. Let's see if you know what's going to be happening in the lower bracket. Who's going to emerge victorious there? Fat Feline, Broomsley. Either of them could be coming up to at least the lower bracket semifinals. Do we have a pick and ban link? We do have a pick and ban link. There we go. Carson starting out with a Vestibule of Exile ban. Dramis going for the Corrupted Keep ban. First map to be played is going to be Deep Embrace, picked by Carson, and then we're moving on to Veil of Noth. Your desktop looks like mine. Messy. Yeah, I kind of have to clean up some stuff, but I was in the middle of like some modding adventures. But I can always blame my cat for making a mess. Map number 3 to be played, that's gonna be Molten Falls. Deep Embrace, the first map to be played. Carson going for the Keel ban. I think that's the respect ban. I definitely think that's the respect ban. I do remember, I think that was NAQCL number 3, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to lie, but I do think it was NAQCL number 3, where it was the grand finals, Carson versus Dramis. Dramis ended up playing Keel, and it was overtime actually, and Dramis on Keel just ended up barreling in, absolutely destroying Carson. Didn't even know what hit him. It was a beautiful ending to just a very close series. So, Carson doing his best. Doing his best to prevent what happened a couple weeks prior. Dramis is going to be playing Strog and Peakard, though. That's still a very strong pick, and as we've seen, he's been doing quite a lot of damage with the Peaker alone. Carson going for that Ranger pick. We don't see all that much of Ranger on Deep Embrace, but still, like I don't think there's a single map where Ranger can be considered a bad pick, you know. At best, he's, like, at worst, he's average. And even then, he's, like, on the higher end of average. Map number 2, that's gonna be Veil of Noth. Dramis is going for the Eisen ban. can't blame him. Aizen is just unbelievably annoying on Vale. Carson going for BJ Blazkowicz. And Dramis Galena. Galena Vale, that's a pretty old school pick. Molten Falls, Carson banning Sorlag, Dramis going for Slash. And Carson actually going for Anarchy, gonna be a light versus light. I do wonder, actually, I don't think I've seen this matchup in quite a long time, you know, Slash versus Anarchy. I do remember that Molten Falls used to be kind of dominated at one point by light champions, but that's been long gone. Overall, yeah, I can't really say that there's a distinct advantage to either player. Strog and Peaker versus the Ranger, that's pretty much a 50-50 kind of matchup. Maybe Strog has a slight advantage on Deep Embrace, arguably, but then again, Ranger is just so solid on every single map. BJ versus Galena, again, a very similar situation. The only situation where, like, the only picks where I would say maybe there's a kind of a advantage, I would say it's Dramis being on Slash. But then again, Anarchy has the advantage that, you know, even if Dramis ends up in a complete control of the items, including the light armors, that's still gonna, you know, the inject coming into play. And I do think that Anarchy's ability is gonna be coming into play and doing some heavy lifting for Carson, whereas it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hit and miss for the Slash player. Both players are readying up. There we go. I just suddenly got so scared that I wasn't sure if I was recording. Also, it looks like we have the bug. The bug that Carson isn't loading in.
Prepare to fight.
Yeah, it looks like Carson never even loaded into the game. He's still in the menu, so... Sometimes this happens, still not sure why. Sync, if you have an idea, would be cool to fix. Sync's probably not even watching this. Or is he? We shall never know. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Sync knew what was causing this, he would have already fixed it, but hey. It's like 1 in a million chance. Carson went to the wrong slipgate. There we go, we got Carson in the lobby. Oh yeah, there's a new PTS build. I haven't had time to look at it yet. I was as I was setting up for the stream, like Sunny was writing to me for about the new PTS update. So looking forward to checking that out. And of course, I will be making a video on Church of Quake YouTube. Anyways, we are in the upper bracket finals. Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes. We're going to be starting out on Carson playing a Ranger in the red corner against his ultimate nemesis, a Dramis, in the blue corner playing Strog. Carson trying to line up some rail angles. So far, I don't think Dramis has got access to the rail just yet. And Carson knows that. He's going to be trying to cut off his opponent from getting access to it. Good opening damage. Ooh, nice attempt there with the orb. Unfortunately, Dramis gets out on barely any health. And the orb also it does not put him on the same platform as Dramis. That was critical. He's gets away with basically no health whatsoever. But this is where Dramis not having the railgun actually proves to be critical. The long range advantage that Carson enjoyed there allows him to get the first blood. He's still going to be losing out on the heavy armor. The positioning that the frag happened that proved to be crucial. Oh, good tri-bolt, very good tri-bolt damage. Misses the rail though. Carson still railable. Both players jumping over each other's rails even. Dramis is going for a very aggressive push up the jump pad to get a better angle. And that gives him his first frag. Oh no! Carson! If I'm not mistaken, what happened, Carson, he overshot the orb and actually went flying. And just missed out on the heavy because of it. And that gave Dramis an opportunity to get a frag. That's gotta be devastating. There are 2 mega icons in the upper bar. You are correct, Liquid Styles. I'll try to show that in a moment. There is a secret mega health, which, as far as we can tell, isn't actually secret. It's just decorative. You can't actually reach it. But it's there. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was initially added as an April Fool's joke. And there's like allegedly a secret button. Nobody knows if it exists. It might be just like the ultimate troll move by Sync Error. Dramis right now off to a great start. These fights, they're not coming easy at the same time. The timings are proving to be very much so in Dramis' favor. Mega health is up. Carson opts to go for the rail. That's going to be critical on this map. Some people have criticized this map just for how ridiculously rail heavy it is, and I can kind of agree with that. As we can see, both players trying to do their best with the rail what they can, but kind of the momentum, you know, that Dramis can keep from movement and just keep applying the pressure proves to be critical. A lot of damage done by Carson. Very nice defensive rockets there into an orb. Misses the first rail off the spawn. Gets the second one though. Most importantly though, Dramis, he was still able to get the heavy armor, and this means that both players, they're going to be a largely equal stack. Dramis goes out the map! Goes out the map, doesn't get the heavy armor. Good rockets though. The peeker is gonna be denied. Dramis looking pretty healthy. I don't think Dramis has the rail though. Well, he's gonna collect it now. Carson just not in a position really to contest him. Okay. Dramis firing firing rails out of his hips or something. Dramis is being like Shakira, you know? His hips don't lie. The firing rockets. Rails. Good defensive rockets again coming out from Carson. Through the floorboards though, Dramis doing quite a lot of damage. Aggressive rocket jump into an orb. Very, very nicely played there. Dramis, maybe if he did suspect it, just was not ready to go to really meet his opponent in an upfront battle. Carson now only 3 frags down. As we've seen on Deep Embrace, things can turn very quickly. Dramis, he's still lacking a railgun, forced to use the HMG, but a couple shots missed. Oh, good rocket. Carson just missing the rails, and it's proving to be critical. I'll use this opportunity to quickly look at where exactly is the secret mega. It's there. If you can figure out how to get to that mega, you're like, you deserve a Nobel Prize or something. The secret mega, by the way, exists only on the spring version of the map, so it's going to be available for, like, it's going to be up there only for like a month more. So if you want to go secret hunting, you only have a limited amount of time. Dramis, he was so low for such a long time there. Carson's rail finally doing some work here, and it's keeping Dramis on his toes. Oh, a failed rocket jump. That would have been disastrous for Dramis if that rocket jump had worked. Forces the spawn. Nicely done there, actually, by Carson. Keeping completely still, not making it known for Dramis that Carson knows that he's forced to spawn. Because generally, what you see is, you know, kind of evasive maneuvers coming out from the rocket spawning player, but it's very close to being a tied game now. And there's still 2.5 minutes. Dramis wisely not fully committing to that jump pad. Carson with a slight stack advantage, but he's gonna get the heavy armor and he's gonna be in position for a mega as well. Both players exchanging rails. That's still gonna be very much so in Carson's favor. Dramis not even at full armor right now. 2 minutes remaining. Dramis and Carson, both players have their ability ready. Caught a little off guard. Another light armor gets denied. Just a bit of damage coming out from the Tri-Bolt. Critical rail there. This should be a kill coming out from Carson in any moment now. Dramis still with no armor to his name at all. Orb comes out. Oh, but very good defensive play by Dramis. Preemptive rocket does not land. Dramis doing very good by just not fully committing, you know, to these kind of moves. He baits out rockets, baits out defensive plays. 7 health inflicted, but it's not enough. Dramis, he's still somehow alive this entire time. Dramis has just been, he's been living on a prayer. Finally gets some more rail ammo, picks up more health, runs straight into Carson's rail. 1 minute remaining. Surely this is finally the kill. No! He does get the kill, but it's such a sloppy one. The shotgun just barely hits. Apparently I got a notification. Somebody has a birthday in 2 weeks or something. And Dramis actually just... Oh my goodness. Carson worked so hard for that. And all that effort just down the drain. 30 seconds remaining, and Dramis is in the 1 frag lead. He has the stack advantage. Rails and rockets connecting, even... Oh, beautiful angle there. And Carson, he has to make the move. But even if he does, Dramis, he's got a rocket launcher, he's got a rail, and soon enough he's gonna have the heavy armor as well. 5 seconds remaining. Carson, he's late. What a game. What an actual game. Crazy match. Dramis is going to be taking map number 1. And the upper bracket finals, that is Deep Embrace. You could really see, you know, how strong having the ability to just continue his momentum around corners and keep applying pressure, and also to evade his opponent really came into play there. I do wonder what would have happened, you know, if Carson was playing a different kind of champion. Then again, some of those orbs really did a lot of work for him. And at the same time, you have to wonder, you know, what if Carson hadn't, you know, just a little bit flubbed some of those orbs. It was very close to that match going either way, and had it gone to overtime, would not have been surprised at all. What an absolutely great match. But we're moving on to map number 2. That's going to be Veilonov. Dramis on Galena, and Carson on BJ Blazkowicz. It's gonna happen one day, guys. It's gonna happen, I'm telling you. Carson's gonna eliminate Dramis. We don't know when, but it's gonna happen.
Prepare to fight.
Predictions are up for map number 2, Whale of North. We're going to be starting out on the BJ player, Carson, in the red corner, going up against the going up against the QPL professional Dramis. Very early on use of the dual wield with the starting machine guns. Didn't end up accomplishing all that much, but did apply some pressure. Dramis, no fear at all, just catches Carson off guard as he's trying to use the tri-bolt around the corners, but Dramis just, you know, pulls out the LG, goes straight ahead. Oh, unfortunately, Dramis ends up going through the teleporter. Could have done some damage. That acid room light armor, it's a tricky little beast, you know. You go in there, you pick it up, and you end up taking like 300 damage for daring even to enter that room. It's very hard to get out of there if your opponent happens to be around. Predictions are up for 1 more minute. Go ahead and waste your point. Regret your life decisions together with other viewers. Pretty good defensive rockets coming out from Carson. Dual wield was popped, but the rockets coming out from Dramis are brutal. It's kind of standing on the low ground. That's going to be very hard to hit direct for Carson. Good rails though, right off the spawn. Dramis forced to retreat. Does not want to get hit the 3rd time. Carson actually looking in the wrong direction. Want to be careful there, buddy. One of the kind of lesser objectives that Dramis is going to be working towards is going to be getting those getting that triple totem up, but Dramis actually getting caught off guard and taking rockets from the BJ player, and an immediate refrag as Dramis goes for his preferred weapon, the rail. Very, very peculiar situation now. Carson forced on the retreat. Runs out of rockets mid-fight, just completely sent packing. Gonna maybe even run into the totem. Nope, evades it. Oh! Good move there by Dramis with the stack advantage, but Carson popping the dual wheel just a little bit too late. Dramis now looking at a pretty sizable stack. He's already setting up on Mega, a bit early, but Carson not really in position to really contest it. Carson playing it very slow. Dramis doing the right thing at this point. He's just holding the high ground. The opportunity that the high ground really gives you on this map cannot be overstated. Gives you full control of like what's happening on the map. Carson doing a lot of damage with some rockets. Pops dual wheel, drops down. He's not looking super healthy himself, but Dramis, he's not gonna try his luck. Gonna retreat. Good opening rocket, but Carson hitting a lot of LG. Dramis still able to steal the the heavy armor, dancing around the teleporter, and ends up getting the 4th frag onto Carson. Beautiful play there by Dramis, completely just
My life sustains you.
out-dancing, really like out-dancing Carson. And now Dramis is going to be in a full control. Both major items going in his favor. Carson looking to pick up the rocket launcher, but gonna meet the Galena player halfway. Equalizes the stack thanks to a mid-range rail shot. Dual wield is available, so that even though Dramis is at a stack advantage, he has to keep in mind that he can't afford to play overly aggressively. As I say that, he just goes through the teleporter. The defensive rockets are not enough. Carson left packing just on like 25 health. It's still only a 2 frag advantage for Dramis. Carson, there's a lot of light armors and there's a lot of health bubbles on this map, so it's not surprising to see Carson slowly building his stack up, but it's actually going to be the totems which are going to give so much more information to Dramis. Carson running into them. Aggressive push by Carson. Both players railable. Dramis actually opting to go for the tri-bolt and is gonna pay the price. No damage inflicted off of spawn. Ooh, very, very tough situation right now for Carson. It looks like he does not know the rotation of the light armors at this point. In fact, he missed out on the heavy. That ends up going to Dramis and the beautiful rocket to finish the frag. Carson's gonna have to start working all over again for an advantageous position. Runs into another totem. At least it's not gonna be working for Dramis. Dramis very low, but Carson himself very low. Oh, mutual frag. Rail versus Tribolt. Still 2 frag advantage for Dramis. Only a 2 frag advantage for Dramis. This can turn around like at any moment. Good opening rail. Carson making the push. He's gonna lose out on Mega. Realizes that the Mega has already been taken. Leaves the room. Just tries to get some weaponry. As he goes through the teleporter, Dramis was already there in position to meet him. Oh, very unfavorable engagement for Carson, and he falls in the pit! I forgot that acid pit even exists. Not like this. Look at this stack now. On the bright side, Dramis has not been able to establish a triple totem, but he just kind of does not need it. With how much control he has had of the major items. Just take a look at that. The Dramis on 14 heavy armors and 11 mega healths, whereas Carson only 1. Just a single heavy armor to his name. It is surprising that Carson has been able to make this game so close if you just look at the major item pickups, you know? Especially against the Galena, who's going to be regenerating so much health from those totems. Carson does get a frag, 7-5. This might be an opportunity. Carson's going to be able to get another heavy armor. Actually opts to go for more damage. Good move there. But he might be paying the price. He has dual wield available but doesn't use it. Still ends up getting the kill. But again, just lost out on yet another heavy armor. And now he's forced to go into the acid pit. He might be regretting this very soon. Forced to retreat. Good move there by Dramis, realizing that his opponent was in a vulnerable position and just kept applying pressure. It's very tempting to go like ultra defensive when you're already in the lead and there's not much time left. But in this case, it was just the right move. Carson just gonna look at Dramis, run away. Okay, it's interesting. Carson now has cornered Dramis, but he's not giving up. Good opening rail again. Tribolt, making some work for Dramis. Both players railable. 15 seconds remaining. Heavy armor goes over to Carson. 10 seconds remaining. Rail battling ages. Oh, and as Carson tries to make the final push, he's going to be cut down by Dramis LG. GG's well played, called by both players. Indeed, well played by both players. 63% rail versus 56% on Carson. So many major items going over to Dramis, and it's absolutely a nail biter this match. So close, so very close. Both of these maps, unbelievable. Whew. People keep not voting for Carson, and god damn it, guys, you're gonna regret it one day so hard. There's gonna be somebody who puts like 9 million points on Dramis, and then just Carson's gonna smoke Dramis. So close, so very close. But I can't take anything away from Dramis. He played very, very, very damn well. You told me before I knew? That's nonsense, Slash. I've been saying this for... I've been saying this like every week. I've been saying this since Moonbeam. You weren't even born when Moonbeam was a thing. Dramis too much experience? Perhaps. But still, Carson, I think, he's been steadily improving And really, like, if Carson's gonna be the one who's gonna send Dramis to the lower bracket at some point, I would not be surprised in the slightest. What do you mean slash, like 1981? Like, that's... For a Quake player, you're pretty damn young. I'm just playing with you. Let's take a look at the brackets, see how far we've come. So Dramis ended up winning at the upper bracket finals. He's gonna be proceeding to the grand finals. Let's see what we have going on in the lower bracket. Broomsley won against Kuru. Fab Feline ended up winning against Kyros, and a Fab Feline eliminated by Breakage. A Breakage still waiting for his opponent, and it's gonna be Kunggear versus Broomsley. I don't know if that match has already started or not. For a Quake caster, I'm pretty damn young. I don't think I'm all that young for a Quake caster. How old was Lethal? I think Lethal was one of the QPL casters. I think he was younger than me, actually. Or maybe not. Also, I have a suspicion that, like, 40 Lions might actually be way younger than he looks. Kunggear versus Broomsley. Let me try and find if is somebody streaming that, perhaps, maybe? Do we have any information about Kunggear versus Broomsley? Broomsman might be streaming it. Broomsman is indeed streaming it. Unfortunately... Yeah, unfortunately, we kind of missed out on being able to join the lobby itself, but that's fine. I'll show the Broomsley stream. There we go.
What the fuck? What am I doing? Alright. He's gonna get Mega now. That was risky as fuck.
Now, Brooms, why you gotta swear? Actually, it's fine. It's 2 hours into the stream.
I knew he was gonna behind the wall rail me.
YouTube doesn't care anymore.
I don't need to be here.
Also, hi, YouTube.
SLG, damn. Sometimes you just gotta square off, you know? See ya.
Crush them. You are nothing.
Okay. Big choke. Unlucky.
Crush them.
My rail is like garbage today. 29% rail. No wonder why I'm losing this. 29% rail against a scale, no less. Okay. I think I might have the tournament here, guys. I don't know. Something solid.
I will lead the way.
Ah, so close. Need like another millisecond. This guy's got the dodges. Yes! Got a frag, guys. It's on. 2 minutes.
Crush them.
Okay, that would have went through him, but that's fine. Dude, I cannot hit this guy. 36% rail. When is my rail ever this low? Really?
Well, that was Broomsley's perspective. Music. Here we go. We're gonna be looking at brackets in a moment. Yeah, sorry about the frame, guys. It's just when I'm re-streaming somebody else with the current setup, it's kind of a bit of a mess to actually remove the frame, so hopefully it wasn't too intrusive. We did find out, like, yeah, no, it's Kunggear is the same guy as he used to play under the name JuanPro732 back in like 2011, 2021. We got in touch with him. Basically, the reason why he's on a new account is because back when like he actually played, it was a Bethesda account that was not linked to Steam, so he ended up like not knowing how to actually just get access to it, so just create a new account under the name Kunggear. So there's nothing, we have no basis to believe like there's any foul play in effect. So yeah, unless he somehow got access to like an account from, like, unless it's like somebody else who somehow got access to an account from 2021 on tournament, like, no, there's nothing. Like, Davis did start like accusations that there might be like cheats at play or something like that. We have no reason to believe that. We looked back at the VODs. There's nothing. There's actually just nothing. He's just a returning player. It's not unreasonable for a player who's, you know, played previously and then to put in 100 hours to be at like low diamond level. Nothing, there's nothing crazy about that. So, we do have brackets, and we also have... Yeah, we have brackets, and we also have picks and bans happening right now. I mean, I understand Davis' perspective, but I do believe that he overreacted. And it kind of put everybody on the edge. Like, if you believe there's foul play, inform the admins. You know, tell them the situation. Try and figure out what's going on. But to kind of just go ahead and like start insulting other players, like, it's, you know, a bit too far in my opinion. Because in the end, like, we as I said, we have no reason to believe that there's anything wrong going on. Anyways, picks and bans. There's the picks and bans. They're already done. Because I'm so slow at, like, doing this. Somebody needs to accuse you, Cutbutt, of cheating and insult you. You wish. Ain't gonna happen ever. Let's see. So this is what? What is this? What even is this? Is this semi? Yes, this is lower bracket semi. Best of 1. So the overlay should be done. They are loading into the match right now. Oh, people in chat having fun. There we go.
Making mama proud. Coming at you.
Prepare to fight.
Okay, everything's set up. We are in the match. Hopefully everything's set up. We're in the match. Gonna be starting out on Kunggear, playing in the blue corner Ranger against the Breakage in the red corner on Strog and Peaker. Immediately we have a fight emerging as a Breakage tries to make a break, no pun intended, for the rail, but he's gonna be caught off guard as he goes for the Peaker play. Good understanding of the spawns gives him the ability to go for a lot of damage pretty much immediately. Kunggear gonna forfeit the mega health, instead opting to go for the heavy armor. Breakage taking the rail after rail in this entire time. Breakage hasn't even been able to get to the rail. Kunggear doing a pretty good job of just denying that entire part of the map from his opponent. Also, Brooms, thanks for the raid. Breakage actually ended up sending Kunggear off the map. I missed that as I was looking at the chat. Gosh darn it. Breakage now, he's lost all of his armor, still doesn't have the rail. Like, finally he's gonna be able to go for the rail, but he hears that Kunggear is already setting up and does the right decision and not to continue going in that direction. He just goes back away, but as he tries to set up for heavy, he's a little bit too early, ends up eating an orb.
Let's go, you sons of bitches.
A lot of damage inflicted by the Peaker, but it's not enough, and the final rocket doesn't find its mark. Breakage taken out of the sky with the rail. Breakage, as he tries to just collect weapons, he's taking so much damage in the process. Kunggear just overall doing a really good job of controlling the positioning first and then worrying about the major items. This is a very staple play of Deep Embrace, and I don't even remember, was this his pick? I think this was his pick. No, this was actually Breakage's pick, kind of. Well, They were just banning maps. But this definitely feels like the entire pick and ban phase ended up absolutely in Kunggear's favor. You can see him abusing the spawns just absolutely perfectly. Oh, Breakage even ends up suiciding himself and losing out his only frag that he worked so hard for.
Stay down. You
Gonna force the rocket spawn again, but this time Breakage actually delaying it. Kunggear not expecting that, but oh, the LG just a little bit too shaky from Breakage, doesn't allow him to get at the frag. Another rail connecting. So far this is just very, very good, solid deep embrace play.
No, you shoot with it.
Again, goes for the spawn damage. In this case, actually does miss it. Rocket jumps up. Aggressive push coming out from Breakage.
In the air.
Ooh, Kunggear actually using the orb to... Felt like he was gonna fall down. Breakage, gonna call it GG's.
Hoorah!
Rail killed Quake, true or correct? I mean, I know what you're talking about, man, but no. I mean, it's deep embrace. It's deep embrace. What can you do? Kunggear just, yeah, played absolutely perfectly. It is instrumental to denying rail access on this map, and, well, that's exactly what happened. Very swift victory. Carson beat Kunggear today? Yeah, Carson actually just destroyed Kunggear today. At least on map number 2. It didn't even get to map number 3, so I didn't see how map number 1 went, but map number 2, Carson just destroyed him. Let me update all the things on the screen. Yeah, this was a very... Who is Dramis? What do you mean, who's Dramis? Shaman, what do you mean, who's Dramis? Red-Eyed Toss, thanks for the follow. One of Shaman's many children. Shaman, what the fuck do you mean, who's Dramis? Kunggear ends up taking this. What am I supposed to be looking at now? Do we have Carson in the lobby? We do have Carson in the lobby, and they might be making the picks and bans already. Here we go. We do have picks and bans as well. Shaman having a bit of a... I don't know. Maybe that's like... I really don't know. What do you mean, who is Dramis? Kunggear's performance wiped Shaman's brain. Oh boy. So we're gonna have a rematch. Carson versus Kunggear. But yeah, in the upper bracket, very easy victory on map number 2. That was a Vulcan. I don't remember what exactly did Carson play, unfortunately, but it was very decisive. It was like 3-19. Is that the cat from the picture? What do you mean? Which cat? I mean, all of my pictures are of the same cat. So this, for example, this emote that I have on my own channel, that's also the one from the picture. It's all the same cat. That is Dramis. That's not Dramis. What the hell? The cat is not Dramis. Shaman, what the hell, man? Oh my goodness. Shaman has a cat named Shaman. That's actually kind of cool. We should name all of our pets in the names of Quake players. But no, the cat's name is Leopold. It is not Dramis. It would be pretty funny to name a cat Dramis. Anyways. Oh, I forgot to change the overlay. Give me a moment. At least the text in the overlay. So, lower bracket finals, Kunggear versus Carson. So this is going to be best of 3. Usually all the lower bracket games are best of 1. First map to be played, that's going to be a Vulcan. Carson banning a Visor. Kunggear going for Strog and Peeker. We have seen that, yeah, his movement isn't bad. He can really make use of the speed. Carson going to be picking Ranger. Ruins of Sarnath going to be map number 2. Kunggear banning Anarchy. Not surprising, Carson, he plays actually quite a lot of Anarchy. Carson's picking Sorlag, Kunggear picking Scalebearer. Scalebearer? When is the last time you saw Scalebearer on Ruins? It feels like that was like 2022, 2021. Maybe he doesn't know the meta. I mean, the Matcherino link is for Estoti from yesterday. Oh shoot! I don't think I can actually change it even. Yeah, I don't think I can change that particular link. It's what was it? Contribute? Yes. So that's the correct link. Also the one that Faux Show sent, that's the correct link. Shaman, are you drunk today or what is going on, dude? Shaman just woke up today and chose violence. I don't know. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyways, the boys, they're loading into they are loading into the match right now. I'll set up the predictions. There we go. Predictions are up for the next 2 minutes, and make sure to waste all of your channel points. Gamble them away as a reasonable adult would.
Into a nutritious paste.
Strog, you're having a lot of fun there. We're gonna be starting out on Kunggear, playing in the blue corner, Strog and Peeker versus Carson in the red corner, playing Ranger. Carson actually already had used his ability to get a positional advantage. Looks like he's gonna collect the rocket launcher only now. Ends up using the rocket launcher to actually just move away. Very aggressive push from Kunggear. The defensive rockets are doing a little bit of damage, but not enough to really to completely dissuade Kunggear from doing a lot of damage. Nice prediction there by Carson. Well-timed rockets. And the stacks have now been equalized. Kunggear pushing up through the middle. The rails are not connecting though. Carson's going to be able to secure the mega health, and he's actually rocket jumping up to a rail. Drops down onto the heavy, hits a rail. Fires a rocket preemptively. Almost gets a kill already. Kunggear almost dead, and finally goes down. And honestly, the fact that he even picked up one of the light armors before going down, I think that's gonna come to bite him in the ass in the end. Carson doing some cooler rocket jumps. My man just can't make a rocket jump today. I don't know. Two rails connecting. Tries to go for a shotgun finisher. Unfortunately for him, Kunggear already out of view. Gonna take a rail, but the heavy machine gun will finish him off. Very, very good opening for now. Kunggear a little bit too early, like 3 seconds early to that mega. Unable to steal it and ends up just dying fruitlessly. A lot of damage inflicted by Carson. Kunggear playing unbelievably aggressively, and it's not working out for him. Kunggear, even now, he's... as he goes through the teleporter, he immediately goes back to the LG room. He doesn't really accomplish much with that. He's gonna be able to collect the rail now.
Stopwatch.
93 damage on the tri-bolt, and the worst part is that Kunggear gets pushed on off of the platform. That's already 5 frags. Carson just absolutely destroying his opponent. Well, as I say that, Kunggear making it out on 5 health. Actually, very aggressive rocket jump coming out from Carson. Mega health picked up mid-fight. Good timing there. That allows Kunggear to live for the moment. But Carson, he's already orbiting in. Goes for the rocket jump instead of the teleporter. That works out perfectly for Carson. 2 rails in a row. Beautiful rockets into rails, and is gonna go with a Peeker, but very unfortunately for him, he was still in sight of the Ranger player. Rails flying by. This is a breakneck speed match. Things are just changing left and right. Kunggear now with his second frag, 4 minutes in. Firing rockets preemptively over at the T connector, but Carson's on the low ground. He's not even there. Ooh, fails to deny the light armor. Does not know that Carson is actually waiting for him around the corner. Carson now going to be doing a very fast rocket jump, and Kunggear actually calling GG on map number 1, only 4.5 minutes into the first map. Hot damn. Carson really took the experience from last week and just said, nope, not having any of this. Hold up, let me... I forgot what I'm doing. Buttons are hard. Okay, there we go. But that's just map number 1. As we saw last week, it is entirely possible for Kunggear to actually be able to contest Carson. Admittedly, I do believe that Carson did not play to his full strength last week. And I think that definitely helped Kunggear out. But still, it's even with Carson's on a bad day, you know, it takes a certain amount of skill to take him down. We're looking at a player that absolutely can contest somebody like Dramis. So, you know, Ruins of Sarnath is going to be our second map. If Carson is able to win this map, he's going to be facing off against Dramis in the grand finals. Kunggear needs 2 victories in a row at this point. Really interesting to see. Scale Bearer being picked on Ruins. Really just have not seen it for quite some time. We're gonna be starting out on Carson, the Sorlag player. He gets the rocket launcher spawn, immediately goes for the mega health. Actually skips one of the light armors in attempt to get the LG, but beautiful rockets. Beautiful rockets. Scale just gets completely thrown around, but immediately off the spawn, Kunggear's already rushing in. He does get the 1 frag to his name, but the rockets from Carson, they are not stopping. And it's going to be a mutual frag. Both players exchanged major items now. Kunggear doing a lot of LG damage. Carson not really able to hit his rails. 1 more might finish him. But Carson's already out of there. Oh, Carson actually making a nice move there, returning from a completely different angle. Kunggear maybe caught a little bit off guard, but thanks to the fact that he was able to hit one of the rails and he still had Bull Rush available, he was able to get the second frag. Both items still now very close to each other. Carson hunting down his opponent. Carson now looking very healthy. He's going to be firing upon his opponent from the high ground. Really keeping hold of that middle part of the map. It's kind of critical on this map. Ooh, an unfavorable LG engagement for Carson. He's going to use the acid spit to try and deny the area. But in the end, he's going to be pushed away, and Kunggear in the end is able to get the kill. Also, hello Rome, welcome to the stream. Also, Live and Legend, holy hell, we got the Euro squad woke up. Even though it's like almost midnight in most of Europe. Kunggear now, looking pretty healthy. He's already setting up for the heavy armor. Carson's setting up a rail angle, unfortunately misses out on it. I don't think he's going to be able to get to mega health on time either. Never mind, he's actually able to do it. And there's a lot of damage coming out from Carson with the rockets. Both players pretty low. They are railable, but Carson just retreats. He's already making his way over to LG. Kunggear had no idea. And there we go, using the air control of Sorlag to just switch his positions effectively and secure the 4th frag. Another mega health going over to Carson. Kunggear now might be in a pretty bad position. He's caught in a bit of a corner. Is Carson gonna try and make anything out of it? He's trying to deny as many angles as he can with the rail, but in the end opts to just drop down and already secure the heavy armor. Doesn't seem to know where Kunggear might be appearing from. In fact, Kunggear, I don't think he knows heavy timing at all. That's a lot of damage. 160 damage inflicted with the rail and LG combo. Beautiful rocket jump into another rail. Well done. That gives Carson the 5th frag. As he drops down, though, he almost gets floated by Kunggear's LG. Very nice frag there for Kunggear. That's gonna still be 4-5, 1 frag in favor of Carson. Carson, Kunggear, I don't know. Today we have a lot of people with the same like starting ladder, and it's making me very confused. Kunggear trying to set up for heavy. Carson did get the mega health though. Carson's gonna hear the mega, the mega heavy. What the hell is that? The heavy armor being picked up. No damage really being inflicted in that engagement, but again, Kunggear just a little bit too late when it comes to arriving to the mega health. Both players, they're just gonna engage and disengage pretty much immediately. Carson now should have the timing on heavy armor, and you can see him already pivoting to this area. Maybe he's not gonna push in, but he's gonna at least keep an eye out on his opponent. And the best part is, since he already also knows the mega health timing, it allows him to just cycle the items effectively. Cycle the positions effectively, I should say. No real damage exchanges for like the last minute or so. And now perfectly done by Carson. As Kunggear was trying to get some damage in, he actually ended up giving over the heavy armor to Carson. Good opening damage from Kunggear. This might be a good opening. Beautiful bull rush into direct rocket. Kunggear checks the spawn. But Carson wasn't there. In the end, however, he's so low on health that he's forced to even give up the heavy armor. Ooh, Kunggear unfortunately caught off guard. He's left on so little health, and Carson, he never even went for the mega. Instead, he opted to stick around on the mid connector, hearing that his opponent went for the lower health bubbles. There's really, I guess, yeah, as soon as he heard the one of those health bubbles being picked up, he knew that there's no point going for the mega first. As I say that, we had a pretty messy LG fight over the heavy. That's 6-6 now. Both players tied. It's gonna be, unfortunately, another mega and another heavy armor going to Carson. Kunggear just unable to really get a hold of these major items. One direct rocket for Kunggear, but one for Carson. Uses Bull Rush just to evade any further damage. Kunggear already setting up for heavy. Here's his opponent. Preemptively fires a rocket again. Unfortunately, it's too unhealthy to really contest that. Carson on the chase. Hits one rail. Actually retreats. Carson just kind of starving his opponent of any resources. Even this movement alone, it just completely denied Kunggear from getting anything other than a couple health bubbles. And now Kunggear might be running into Carson's jaws. Still railable this entire time. Kunggear has been railable. Carson dropping from the sky. The dinosaur learned to fly. And the worst part is Kunggear, again, he's not in position to get the mega health. He is going to be in position to get heavy. Is Carson going to drop down? No. No, it doesn't look like it. He's just going to be setting up a trap. He has no reason to take any risks, really. These heavy versus heavy champion fights, they can be very, very dangerous. Neither one really has... Basically, the advantage goes to the one who is left on the least health after the fight. No, the other way around. You know what I mean. If you kill... If you make the kill, you have a problem. Because that means your opponent's gonna be coming back with 200 health, and it's gonna be hard to do anything about it. 15 seconds remaining. Kunggear hits the rail! Oh, but the spawn! No way! The spawn! Kunggear must be pissed! Oh my goodness. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. Only 2 mega healths for Kunggear. Oh my god. Carson getting revenge for last week. Oh, choking on the cat hair? No, not really. Oh, no, my voice cracked so hard there that I actually kind of died. Oh boy. Talking about cats, here's a cat. Look at this cat. While I set up for the grand finals, and I think the grand finals... Oh boy. If the upper bracket finals was any indication, this is gonna be a really exciting, really damn exciting grand finals. Because we have Dramis versus Carson rematch. Dramis, of course, coming in with a 1 map advantage. Dramis 100% says Oasis Beyond. Let's see. We do have both players in the lobby, and I'm waiting right now for them to provide the spectator link for the picks and bans. In the meantime, we can take a look at the brackets to understand what exactly is the adventure that we've seen. The adventure is like, seriously, is this the word that I chose? Oh boy. My brain is frying, I'm sorry. Kunggear was eliminated from the upper bracket actually pretty early on. Actually, no, not that early on. It was like in the quarterfinals from the upper bracket. By Carson, no less. It was a pretty decisive victory. And over there, actually, Kunggear had a very good run. Broomsley, he beat quite handily. It was like, what, 5 to 17, something like that, on Molten Falls. Took down Breakage on Deep Embrace, like, very well as well. Just excellent showcase of, you know, of how snowbally Deep Embrace can be. But then, you know, going up against Carson, no such luck. No such luck. Carson had a very close games up against the Dramis. Both games almost going into overtime. Yes, it's gonna be best of 5. Did I not change it? Okay, there we go. I changed it now. We do have a spectator link for the picks and bans. I'll switch to that in a moment. So yeah, Dramis, he gets a 1-map advantage due to the fact that he won the upper bracket. And there we have the picks and bans. Dramis is going to select a Corrupted Keep as the map of his choice that he's gonna gain a technical victory on. Carson bans Exile. Dramis banning Deep Embrace. What does a 1-map advantage mean? Basically, this is a best of 5, meaning that you need to win 3 maps. However, because Dramis won in the upper bracket, he only has to win 2. So, in the end, he already selects 1 map that is kind of already technically won. Exactly, yeah. So, Carson needs to win 3 maps total, whereas Dramis needs to win only 2. I know that, like, in the early days, at least in the earlier days of Quake, like, if I'm not mistaken, in Quake 4, what they used to do is play, instead of best of 5s, they played a dual best of 3s or something like that. I don't know what is really, like, what is the advantage or disadvantage of either system. But this is kind of what we've landed upon, and it seems to be working pretty well. So, yeah. Map number 1 to be played is going to be a Vulcan, that is Carson's pick. Map number 2, a Veil of Noth, and then on to Molten Falls, and the decider is going to be Ruins of Sarnath if we get that far, and I do hope we do. I mean, it's just a good format in my opinion. It makes sense. It just makes sense, you know? Because like, some people have said that, like, oh, the 1-map advantage kind of doesn't make sense. But at the same time, like we have literally heard scenarios when they would deliberately go down to the lower bracket because it means they're gonna get easier maps. Not easier maps, but easier matches in the lower bracket, and they're gonna get to the grand finals anyway. So why bother playing, like, so many games in the upper bracket if, you know, there's just kind of no point in the end. So that's why the 1-map advantage really, it's that's, like, you know, the incentive for people to actually try and get through the upper bracket. In double BO3, winner bracket need to win only 1 best of 3. Oh yeah, I remember that. I think, yeah, that's the format they used in Quake 4. Like, that was the standard back in Quake 4, if I'm not mistaken. So again, like, that's also that is actually even crazier. I think that's a huge advantage to the upper bracket winner. Why bother? Good point, Cutput. Why bother playing you in the upper bracket? Like, dude, you are unbeatable. Anyways, oh, we're gonna see some Dramis Athena on a Vulcan. Intriguing. Really intriguing. Carson playing Ranger, though. Against the burst potential against light champions, it cannot be overestimated. It cannot be overstated. Overestimated? No, overstated. Guys, languages are hard. Anyways, Vale North, that's gonna be our second one. Sorlag versus Eisen. Dramis taking something out of Razy's book, it seems. The Keel ban, not surprising. I think, yeah, Dramis, when he has played Keel against Carson, that has always gone just horribly for Carson in the end. So much burst damage potential. And like Carson's rockets are good, you know, but unless you can hit most of them direct, you know, that's also when the splash damage reduction comes into play. It's very hard to play against that. So Eisen, a pretty safe pick. Not a bad choice. Dramis banning Anarchy on Molten Folds. Carson gonna be playing Slash against Dramis, Strog, and Peaker. We got Sliders versus Sliders, and then Carson banning Clutch on Ruins. We don't see a lot of Dramis Clutch, do we? Although, in hindsight, I don't know what was left to even pick or ban there. So we don't see a lot of Dramis Clutch, do we? Where am I from? Yeah, I'm from Latvia. I am not American. Even though I'm casting American tournaments. That's actually the irony. I think I pretty much started out casting American tournament. The players are right now picking the server. And looks like they are readying up. Let me see. What can I see? A Vulcan. Right, gonna be setting up the predictions and all that good stuff. I should cast in Latvian, that'll bring in viewers for sure. I don't even know if I can do it. Because the thing is, like, with like a lot of... Because, you know, we generally do not get translations of software in our own language. We end up, like, kind of using... we often end up using like the English versions of the software, and like it feels really weird to like even talk about, like, you know, like to like translate stuff like a rocket launcher or a lightning gun, you know. It's yeah, it's just, it feels weird to try and translate those things because you don't see it,
Prepare to fight.
like, in the game itself. Anyways, we're in the grand finals, boys, and the map number 1 is gonna be Vulcan, and we're gonna be starting out on Carson playing Ranger. This was his map pick. We already saw Carson doing a pretty damn good job with that Ranger pick, doing a lot of damage, and right off the bat, we're starting with a beautiful, beautiful combo. Dramis, whatever health you had there, that's not enough. He should have heard, Dramis going for that heavy machine gun. Dramis might be in a lot of trouble if he goes for that heavy armor. Carson actually opting to retreat, even though he got the drop on him. I hope I didn't mess anything up here. Carson now establishing control of Mega. He's already setting up for Heavy. Didn't expect Dramis to be to have dropped onto Heavy so early. Carson now has lost quite a lot of his armor. He does have orb available, so the burst potential is there. Dramis being very economical with his hooks as well. Hook used in a very weird way. I don't know where exactly the Dramis go. It was like really weird angle. Oh, but a lot of damage inflicted by Dramis. Carson unable to land anything on the Athena, who's just flying around. This HMG corner is actually going to prove to be rather critical for Dramis, as he really going to be depending on those time vials. 1-1 so far, 2 minutes into the match. Mega health is up. Carson checking around the corner before actually picking it up. Good choice there. Unfortunately, keeps getting shot in the back by Dramis' rail. Rails do exchange, however, Dramis still not healthy enough to really go on a head-to-head fight. Has to respect the orb. Both players slowing down. Ooh, Dramis actually accidentally picking up the rail. That's going to give Carson full information of where exactly his opponent is. Both players missing their rails. Dramis had his toenails a bit clipped there, you know. Comes around the corner, full speed thanks to the hook. Carson winning out on the rail engagement and actually opts not to re-peek. Oh, but he drops down! And Dramis, unable to find health quickly enough, wins the engagement. Oh my goodness. I really like this move by Carson as well. What? No way. Carson, please don't die. No, 4 health. Come on, dude. No. Oh. Unbelievable. Dramis had nothing. Dramis had actually nothing. Carson was able to get like all the major items immediately on respawn, but hot damn. That kill should not have happened. Carson, though, once again finding exactly the same rail angle as previously. That's going to be 2-4 now. 2 frags in favor of Carson, but the rockets from Dramis. I kind of like that play, but maybe just should have gone further in to at least try and steal the heavy primarily rather than going in for the damage. Three to 4 now. Almost 5 minutes in. 2 beautiful rockets, 200 damage dealt within the span of like 2 seconds. Dramis now able to tie the game up. He's starting to run pretty low on hooks, however. And that's already playing out in favor of Carson, but what was that rail? Almost catching another angle. Carson's actually still railable. Finally, he finds one health bubble to keep himself alive. Dramis is unbelievably healthy.
You may just want to sit this one out.
Beautiful use of the hooks just to reposition himself for... and to always keep Carson under pressure. Dramis should have heard his opponent. Again, nice move there. Delays the mega health even further. It's another rail. Dramis, what is going on here? 73% rail. It feels more. It absolutely feels more. The kind of rails that he's hitting, that they should be illegal. Frankly, dear God, another one. LG fight ensues. Carson just not healthy enough to even take that fight. Refiring the tri-bolt. Well, the direction was right, but a little bit too early. Wasted hook there, but that's fine. Dramis, yeah, even though he's running low on hooks, he's never in a situation that... he's never in a situation that he can't really get out of somewhere. Because, well, frankly, if he's applying so much pressure to Carson non-stop, it kind of doesn't matter. Both players, like, the mind games. I think Dramis was well aware that his opponent might be emerging from the T connector. Finally, some good opening for Carson. He gets the the heavy armor as well. Dramis able to retreat, but now he has been able to recover all of his hooks. And he can start doing some good maneuvers where he can just traverse the map in very brisk pace. Oh, beautiful rocket there. Oh, actually cancels his grapple in the middle to go for more damage. Carson forced to use the orb defensively. A lot of LG damage inflicted. Carson staying around, trying to get some rails. Hits one. Dramis sent back in. Carson goes up to jump pad. He should have timing on Mega. Does get it in the end. Dramis is still looking pretty healthy, but for how long? Able to steal the heavy. Actually goes for the aggressive push. Carson almost going down. Both players extremely low. Carson going for the super shotgun up the jump pad as time was running out. But Dramis, he was far enough.
You like that?
And now it's all going downhill. Dramis is so far ahead that Carson, all that he can do is just rush his opponent and hope for the best. Try and hit like direct rocket after direct rocket, and it's not looking likely. 11-4. Dramis rail OP indeed. 65% rail in the end for Dramis, but at one point, yeah, he was hitting stuff left and right. Oh boy. And still hitting rails. Who needs a shotgun when you have a what? Oh my goodness. Dramis, please. Please have mercy on our boy Carson. Please, I beg you.
Engaging target.
Dramis is gonna finish the game on 69% rail, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 69% rail. Carson was hitting some pretty damn nice rail himself, but hot damn. Just stringing those rails one after another. It was going pretty damn well for Carson at one point, and then as soon as Dramis saw an opening, went full force and just did not let go. That was map number 1 of the grand finals. Dramis needs now just one more victory in order to be crowned at the Naqcl number 6 duel tournament grand champion. White Snoop Dogg for the win. Oh, the prediction points. That's right. That's right, boys. You guys need the prediction points. Oh, 50-50. Very close predictions. Dramis ready? Dramis is ready. Carson's ready. Both our players are ready. We're gonna be moving on to Vale of Noth. And if I'm not mistaken, this was actually Dramis' pick. Carson, can he do it? Can he pull out 3 maps in a row against arguably the best player that NA currently has? Sorlag versus Eisen. I'm now trying to remember what exactly did Rafa say yesterday regarding this matchup.
Prepare to fight.
Because I do remember we spoke about it. Anyways, we are live into map number 2 of the grand final, starting out on Dramis playing Sorlag against Carson playing Eisen. Dramis collects one of the light armors, collects 2 of the 3 main weapons, but delays the mega health quite considerably, taking a lot of damage from Carson. Not even sure where the hell is he firing from. Dramis, as he tries to go for that light armor in the acid room, takes quite a bit of damage, but dishes out in return. Carson trying to play for that heavy armor, but Dramis able to steal it. Teleporter play coming out from Carson. The rail reigns supreme. Dramis getting a very good and favorable LG spawn. And this is one of the strengths of the heavy champions. Allows you to play very aggressively immediately off spawn. That's one rail connecting for Dramis. That's the second one. A lot of damage being inflicted, but Carson, oh, he thought he's safe. Trying to go for that rail gun. Maybe a slight mistake there. Ooh, a lot of damage being inflicted by Carson with the Tribolt. Sorlag just screaming for her life there. Good use of the MG there. He knew that Dramis was out of LG range. Shotgun finisher, beautiful. He's gonna get the heavy armor. And the best part is, now that he's very much on time to actually go over for Mega, Dramis looked like he was way too early. Does he even know the timing at this point? It's gonna be delayed even more, and like Dramis is gonna have absolutely zero ideas. He was on the opposite side of the map when Mega Health was picked up. Good LG damage being inflicted. Tribolt coming out, not hitting. Oh, very clutch rail there. That's gonna be very important for our Eisen player. Good shotgun, but also just amazing rocket damage. Carson not left very healthy. Dramis, he's probably gonna be trying to Never mind, actually. I was thinking he might be going for the LG into the teleporter push, but opted to go for the safe option. A rather uncharacteristic of Dramis, to be honest. Oof. That's already 6th frag for Carson. Carson playing it nice and quiet. Nice little trap there by Carson. Finally, Dramis might have an idea of when exactly Mega is coming up. Oh, nice little rail. The rocket pushed Dramis just enough to put him through the teleporter. It's not looking good now for Carson. He took a lot of damage in the last engagement. He's gonna be forced away. Does not hear that Dramis drops down. That gives our Surlag player the opportunity to go for a frag. Carson's he's still at an advantage in terms of the frags. Oh, does not expect Dramis to drop. As Carson just tries to collect the LG, he ends up taking so much damage. Timmy gets telefragged, 8,000 damage. I wonder if that actually shows up on the stats page. It probably doesn't. Carson regains the lead. Ooh. Dramis making pretty good use of that speed, evading. Evading some of that rail damage there. No, Carson left with only 50 health after the engagement, unable to get to the light armor. Caught in the corner there. Five to 7 now. Dramis, he's looking unbelievable. That's a stacked lizard. God damn. Timmy the turret gonna be helping out, and Carson left on 2 health, and that's gonna allow him to finish the fight. An immediate spawn frag as well. 5 to 9 now. Carson, he's kind of out of position. He might not be able to contest a heavy armor, but he's still... That's one of the good things about, you know, this map, is that you have so many light armors that you can play defensively and kind of work around it. Nice move there. Throws the turret through. Oh, but also a beautiful play by Dramis. You could hear that, like... It doesn't work out in the end, but he doesn't immediately shoot the turret so that as not to give away his position. Carson pushes through the teleporter, not hearing any movement from Dramis, but in the end it does not pay off. And now Carson already with a 6 frag lead. A lot of damage inflicted by the turret. Dramis very low. Oh, but he runs out of LG. Thankfully, Dramis unable to inflict enough damage to actually be able to score the frag. 5 to 12. This is now starting to get very scary for our QPL. Our QPL professional. Carson dancing around. He's gonna find one of the health bubbles, and there we go. Another frag for Dramis. Sorry, for Carson. Even this aggressive push, as Carson's barely alive. Nothing's connecting on Dramis' side. Another immediate rail upon spawn. And with 9 frags, but only 3 minutes left, this is not like... Oh, Timmy the turret! Just want to quickly look at the stats. Carson has everything. Carson has the damage advantage, he has the accuracy advantage, he has the item advantage, he has everything that a man could ask for. Oh, and the full 105 Tribolt. 5-17. A very decisive victory for Carson. Hot damn. That was map number 2. Am I winning? No, Carson's winning. 50-50 predictions. We eating good today. We eating good today. Also, I didn't notice earlier, but Atomic Swede, thanks for the 100 bits. It's a bad day. Why is it a bad day? No, this is a very good day. Le Colega, hey there. Welcome to stream. Welcome to stream, everyone who I have not greeted today. We are in the grand finals right now. Dramis is up by 2. He needs just one more victory to be crowned the grand champion, whereas Carson needs 2 more. No, Dramis needs 1. Carson needs 2 more. Yes. Did I close the prediction? I did that. I did, yes. If Letta is not winning, it is a bad day. Okay, okay, I'll... What the hell? Going to be an insane match right here. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Looking forward to... I have never been so excited for a Molten Falls match. I hate this map with a passion, but gosh darn it, I'll watch Dramis and Carson go at it any time of the day. Wake me up at like 4 AM, don't care. Just tell me that, like, hey, we need somebody to cast Dramis versus Carson. I'll be there. Let me know. Call me. This is map number 3 of the grand finals. Carson on Slash versus Dramis on Stragan Peaker. Thank you for the follow, Python. Dramis gets a very clean first blood. I forgot to start the predictions. Gosh darn. Okay, there we go. They're 30 seconds late, but they're happening. Dramis already in full control, and Carson not in position to contest the Mega Health either. Carson staying on the low ground. Staying on the low ground, waiting until the last moment. Dramis was trying to make sure that he's not falling in exactly that trap. He still ends up taking the rail. Ooh, a bit late on the plasma gun burst there. Dramis was taking a bit of a scenic route. Carson doing a pretty good job of just trying to set up rail angles. This is now a peculiar situation for Carson now, because he probably does not know when exactly Mega was picked up. He might actually be caught off guard here. He does steal the heavy armor. Rockets from Carson, they're not connecting. Dramis continuing the chase. One rocket pops to Dramis up, another one gets blocked by the pillar, and Dramis ends up getting a frag thanks to the LG. 2-0 in favor of Dramis. Never heard of Carson? No, like, Carson's been around. Like, Even back in when Moonbeam Cup was a thing, that was like a Moonbeam Cup kind of ended around January 2025, but even then, like Carson was taking maps off of Dramis. So he hasn't won a series against Dramis so far, but it's been a long time coming, and there's been some hype that Carson's gonna do it. Carson's gonna go ahead and do it and win against Dramis in the grand finals. We don't know when it's gonna happen, but we believe it's gonna happen. Dramis now, he gets that mega health that gets almost immediately destroyed by Carson's rail. Nice reaction there by Dramis as he hears that Carson double backs through the teleporter, immediately switches back to the rail. Oh, that would have been a nasty, nasty rail. Dramis now once again making sure covering all the angles before actually setting up on Mega. Carson actually playing on rocket launcher. He's gonna get information as to when exactly that's coming up. One of the light armors has already been denied. That's not good for our light champion player, because at this point this light armor is gonna go to Dramis as well. He's gonna get the heavy armor as well, and Carson has nothing. Carson's not gonna have anything for like the next 20 seconds. Actually, more than that. Oh, this rail is awful. Carson now is unable to do anything, really. He already picked up the health bubbles on the middle part of the map. The light armor that's over at LG, that's right now up, but Carson's not going to be able to get to it. Although, no, he's going to be able to get to it. Dramis not continuing the pursuit. He's going to just deny one more of the lights and then immediately go for the heavy. Carson now in a horrible position. Dramis dropping onto the mega health as he is in beaker mode. 4.5 minutes. Carson has slowed the game down considerably, but he's still completely out of control, and this is the worst possible situation that you can be in on Molten Falls. When you're losing out on the light armors, you're losing out on everything. You're losing out on the majors. Carson might finally be getting something, but that something is death. 3 to -1, 5 minutes into the match. Carson, oh boy, worked so hard to try and get something done on the map, but in the end he is just falling more and more behind when it comes to the scoreline. That was a really nice circle that Dramis did there. A little pirouette, you know? And like this entire time, Dramis has just been on constant overstack. Just a bit of peaker damage. Carson unable to really do much there, and unable to even get damage onto his opponent while he's collecting all the major items. Nice move there by Carson again. Like, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to find opportunities where he can just like work on Dramis' stack. But one poor engagement and it's all over for Carson, and he has to restart that process all over again. When Dramis is so heavily in control, Dramis can afford to make like 1 or 2 mistakes. Carson, everything has to go perfectly for him. And honestly, right now, it looks like it's going to be a turning point. He's been able to get heavy armor. He was able to get the mega health as well. Carson, actually, he's been able to establish a pretty good stack. Good opening rockets, but push inside the rail room is just not there. A little bit too eager to go for the kill ends up costing him yet another frag. Dramis is still on 50 health. Carson cannot finish the kill. 2.5 minutes remaining. Carson is still on -1. Unbelievable. Dramis is... he's just unkillable. The man refuses to die. And we're once again approaching that critical situation where our Slash player is just so far behind that the only reasonable thing to do in this case is rush your opponent in hopes that something works. Carson realizing that 6 minus a 1 is not a comebackable situation, and with 1.5 minutes remaining, GGs have been called. That means, you know what that means, guys. It means that Dramis is our grand champion of Naqcl number 6. A great way to come back to the tournament. He was missing the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, or just last week. I don't remember. But he's back, and he's here to show us how to play some Quake. Congratulations to Dramis. I hope I closed the prediction correctly. Well played. Beautiful. Beautiful series. We had some very great matches today. Carson on Velonoth, just absolutely destroying Dramis. No, I don't think anybody expected that. We know that, like, Carson can take maps off of Dramis, but we don't expect him to be able to do it so convincingly. NA players, if you're in NA, go and sign up for next week's tournament. These tournaments happen every single Saturday at 3 p.m. EST, right? For show, correct me if I'm wrong. But I know that you won't, because I'm never wrong. It's a lot of fun. If you're any decent at the game, you might even win some prize money. You might also be going up against Dramis. You might also just get absolutely humiliated on the stream. But that's also fun. That's like for our entertainment, you know? Entertain the Euro, guys. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Once again, congratulations to Dramis, the grand champion of Naqcl number 6. Undefeated. Maybe you can be the next one to take him down. My name's been Leadhead. It's been a great stream today. We've had some great matches. It's been a pleasure to have all of you here in chat. And yeah, this is going to be uploaded on YouTube afterwards. Next week, what do we have going on next week? We have, of course, Estodi on Fridays. Next week, hopefully, we're going to have yet another Naqcl tournament. And I hope to see all of you, and, you know, maybe your friends, your family. Invite everybody. Anyways, that's it for today's stream. I'll see you on the next one, hopefully.